Hello, I'm Daniela. Today's video is a quick video. It's an explanation that might answer a question a lot of you have. Now, some of you already know that with an embroidery floss skein, just the ones you buy from the store, did you know that there's a right side and a wrong side from which to draw the thread? Well, if you've used the embroidery floss skein before, you know that if you pull the thread, you can get either a really smooth result, or you can pull as much thread as you need without tangling, or you can get the opposite, where if you pull the thread, you just get a bunch of snarls, and it's quite frustrating. There's an easy way to figure out which end of the skein to pull the thread from. A wrong end and a right end. And once you figure it out, well, it becomes very easy to do. So let me show you how and why this is. So here's a way to try and remember which end of the embroidery floss that you want to use by pulling apart. Now, technically, you can pull any strand out, but usually if you pull the correct strand, the correct end, it will come out without tangling up, which is pretty handy. If you pull out the wrong end, well, we all know what happens. The thread gets tangled. It's not a big deal. There are many ways you can go about this. You could just cut off your labels here, or just pull them apart, and then go through all the work of finding the end and unraveling it. So that's a method that will work. The other method to know if you want to keep your labels intact, more or less, and it typically works, is to know the anatomy of these skeins. So the top of it, the top label, is usually where it tells you the brand, tell you how many yards you get, any information like that, the type of thread. And then the bottom label, in DMC's case, the bottom label is very long. It tells you the number, and it has a little barcode to be scanned and whatnot. On this other brand here, the labels are the same, except that the labels themselves are different. They're the same size, but that they're just different. They still tell you the brand number for that die lot. So the thing to remember is you want to use the side with the die lot number. In the DMC case, you want to look for the long label. From there, in some cases, it's pretty easy. That end sticks out, and then if you just pull that end, well, you can pull that end. It doesn't tangle, and it comes out beautifully. So that's pretty handy. And this other brand, this happens to be Iris, the same thing. You look for the end. If you can't find the end that's there, you do a little bit of digging, you find it, and you could pull it out as well. And then it doesn't tangle. Now, we all know that if we go for strands of floss and we make the dreaded mistake of choosing from the wrong end, well, let's see if I can recreate this. I usually can do it on my own without any trouble, usually. So you just dig through to find that opening, that end of the floss, and there it is. And I'm at the wrong end, and now when I pull it, it starts to tangle. And let's take a look at why that is. If you remove the labels, you'll see that the thread has just a gentle grouping here, a little knotting to keep it neat and organized. And if you pull at the wrong end, well, that's what you're pulling and tangling and actually tightening. So when you want to use your floss without the tangling, just remember, look for the label that has the number, the bottom label, the longer label, and then you can pull your thread tangle free. So I hope you found that helpful. I know that once I figured out the proper end of the floss to use, when pulling it from the skein, well, it became much easier to thread a needle. Did you know this tip already? Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. See you next time.